All right, guys, this video is going to teach you how to factor a trinomial. So before you get started, there is a worksheet on Net Classroom called Factoring a Trinomial Discovery Activity. Pause the video right now and go grab that and print it to OneNote. It looks exactly like my screen right now. So do that now. Okay, now that you've got the worksheets, pause the video again. And this time, answer all of these questions A through F. Those are all review of what we did last class. So pause the video again and answer those questions. And when you come back, you'll see the answers. Okay, do that now. Okay, so let's go through these and see if you got them right. So this first one is an addition problem. The only types of terms you can add are the like terms. So that would be the x squared terms, the x terms, that'd be a positive 5, and then your constants. Okay, the next one is a subtraction problem. So for this one, you can only subtract the like terms. So that would be 4x cubed minus 2x cubed, which is 2x cubed. That'd be negative 5x squared minus 9x squared, which is negative 14x squared. And then you've got your positive 2x, and then you have your minus 2 at the end. The next 4 are all multiplication problems, which means we're distributing. So I have x squared minus x plus 8x minus 8. Combine your like terms here in the middle. Next one is 16x squared minus 28x plus 28x, and then minus 49. Again, your like terms in the middle give you 16x squared minus 49. Distributing this one, I'm going to actually distribute it like that. That gives me negative 2x to the third plus x squared minus 4x, and then distribute the negative 2. That gets me a positive 4x squared minus 2x plus 8. Combining your like terms, there's a 1x squared plus 4 more. That's a total of 5 of those. And then negative 4x minus 2x is minus 6x. And then the last one would be 27m squared plus 9m minus 12m minus 4. That's 27m squared minus 3m minus 4. Okay, so all of that is reviewed. We did all of that last class. But now we're going to do something a little different. This time around, and if you just read this paragraph right here, it basically says that the problems that we just went over were ones where I gave you the two binomials and you had to multiply them and your answer was a trinomial. But now we're going to work backwards. And working backwards is called factoring. So this time I'm giving you the trinomial and you have to figure out the two binomials that would multiply together to get you that trinomial. So it's basically, as you see here, it's the distributive property backwards is what I'm asking you to kind of work through and think through. And here's the key to that. These little marks here. The key to it is right here in this box. So we're going to follow those directions and we're going to try to figure out what it looks like when you use the distributive property backwards. So I know that my answer is going to be binomials. I've got to figure out what's going to go here, what's going to go here, what's going to go here, and what's going to go here, so that when I multiply all this stuff together, I end up with this trinomial as an answer. Okay, so according to the directions, what we're going to do is first, you're going to figure out the first term. So my first term is 2x squared. I have to figure out what times what is 2x squared. And I'm going to choose 2x and x, because 2x times x is 2x squared. And that definitely guarantees me that I'm definitely going to get 2x squared because I'm making that happen. I'm choosing 2x times x. I'm definitely going to make that work out. So the second step is how to get the last term. So I'm going to go to the last term. The last term is 3. Factors of 3, I only have one choice for those factors of 3, and that choice is 1 and 3. So 1 times 3, and that gets me 3. More specifically, positive 1 times positive 3 gets me positive 3. So that for sure is going to work out. I know for sure I've got the first term and the last term. What I don't know is, will I end up getting a 7x in the middle? So I'm going to check my work, and now we're down here to step 3. Check it with the middle term. Check to see if you actually get the middle term. I'm going to connect here, and 1 times x is 1x, and then 2x times 3 is 6x, and if I add those straight down, I get 7x, and sure enough, 7x is the middle term. And so I now know that if I multiply those two binomials together, I'll get this trinomial as my answer. So I just factored that trinomial. Let's try the next one. Again, I'm going to set it up. First, I'm going to look at the first term, which is x squared. So I know that these two locations have to be x times x because that's what gives you x squared. Now I'm going to look at the last term, negative 6. I've got a couple choices here. I could choose negative 1 and 6. I could choose negative 6 and 1. I could choose negative 2 and 3. I could choose negative 3 and 2. All of those are factors of 6. Oops, sorry. There we go. So all of those are factors of 6. Those will all give you 6 if you or negative 6 if you multiply them. So I've got some choices, and this is where the trial and error piece comes into play. I'm going to choose, I'll choose negative 3 and 2. Negative 3 and positive 2. I know for sure that's going to get me a negative 6 when I multiply them. So again, I'm making sure the first term works out. I'm making sure the last term works out. Now I just need to check the middle. That's negative 3x, and there's 2x, and if I add those straight down, I get negative 1x. Oh, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted a positive 1x in the middle. So I'm close, but not quite. Well, how about if we change the signs? My eraser will work. And what if I made this a positive 3 and a negative 2? Then I would get 3x, negative 2x. Oh, there it is. That gets me my positive 1 in the middle. So there is a little trial and error involved in this. It's not just, you know, super easy just to come up with your factors and leave it. You got to kind of check it, and you got to make sure that what you're doing works out. My first term is 5x squared, so 5x and x. That definitely gets me 5x squared. My last term is 7, so I'll choose 1 and 7. And I'll choose a positive 1 and a positive 7. And now let's check it. That's 1x. There's 35x. If I add those together, that gets me a 36x. That's exactly what I needed in the middle. I'm done. Let's look at number 4. So I need a 4x squared. Now again, I've got some choices here. I could do 1x and 4x. I could do 2x and 2x. I really don't know. And that's okay. Just make a choice, check it and see if it works. If it doesn't, you can start over again. You can erase what you have and you can start over again. Let's choose 1x and 4x, just totally randomly. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but let's try it out. And then positive 3, I only have one choice of factors there, and that's 3 and 1, so we'll check that. Okay, so I know for sure I've got the 4x squared. I know for sure I've got the positive 3. Let's see if the middle works out. It's a 12x, and there's a 1x. And if I add those straight down, I get 13x. Ah, crud. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a negative 7x in the middle, not a 13x in the middle. So here's my recommendation. I might have the right numbers, but they might not be in the right place. So let me get my eraser to work here. I think something about this video makes the eraser delay. Okay. And before I had 3 and 1, I'm just going to switch the location of those. So I'm still using the same sets of numbers, but I'm just moving the location. And that's going to make the middle term a bit different. All right, I'm getting closer. I have a positive 7 in the middle. I wanted negative 7 in the middle. But if I make the 4 and the 3 both negative, that will give me a negative 7 when I add straight down. So that works out. We'll just make the 4 and the 3 negative, and there you go. Let's look at number 5. My first term is 11x squared. I don't have any choices there. 11x and x. My last term is negative 8. Now again, I've got some choices. I could choose 1 and 8, 2 and 4. I'm not exactly sure what's going to work out. So just make a choice, plug it in, and check and see if you can get negative 42x in the middle. So I'll choose, let's choose 2 and 4. And I need a negative 8, so let's go with positive 2 and minus 4, because that definitely gives me a negative 8 when I multiply. So there's my 2x. That would be negative 44x, and when I add those straight down, I get negative 42x. Eraser. Which is exactly what I needed. I needed that negative 42x, so that worked out. And so on. So every problem is kind of the same in these 3 steps. Figure out what factors you need to make the first term work out for you. And then figure out what factors you need to make the last term work out for you. And then do some checking for the middle and see if you can get the middle. So every problem is the same in that aspect, okay? The homework that you have is on Net Classroom, and it's just like these. So just kind of rewatch this. I also encourage you to go to YouTube and sort of rewatch or watch for the first time other videos that are on there that have to do with factoring a trinomial. And they might walk you through a process that's a little more scientific. It's something a little bit different than this one, but I'm sure you'll find something that will work for you if this one is a bit confusing. All right, guys, good luck with it. Thanks.